for August 11th, 2008.
To order. Can I get roll call, please?
Ms. Funderburk.
Here.
Mr. Minkiewicz.
Here.
Mrs. Kraut is excused, absent. Ms. Roscoe.
Here.
Ms. Buckley is here. Ms. Kuderich.
Present. Everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item is the consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature by the Board of Education and will be acted upon by one motion. There will be no separate discussions on these items. If any member of the board or any citizens request discussion on the items, then that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will become the first item of business under the report of the superintendent portion of the agenda.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda, which is approving minutes from July 28th, the study session of July 28th, and the study session of August 4th. Also the personnel actions and the bills for payment.
Support.
I got a motion by Mr. Minkiewicz, supported by Ms. Buckley. Any questions? Okay, a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Next item is report of the superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. President. First on our agenda, we have some very important, very strategic proposals. Our first proposal is for the non-homestead levy. Again, this is to allow us to return to the legal rate of 18 mils for our non-homestead tax. Basically, the homeowners do not pay this tax. It's a tax that's incumbent on business and non-residents in Romulus. And again, right now it's 17.49 mils. It's through the Headley rollback process. It's kind of cascaded down over the last few years. The people in Romulus did authorize the 18 mils several years ago, and we're asking that the board approve a ballot issue for the November election to go back to that 18 mils that was authorized before.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the resolution for non-homestead millage as proposed, with the operating millage at no additional cost to the Romulus homeowners.
Support.
Okay, I got a motion by Mr. Minkiewicz, supported by Ms. Buckley. Any questions? Seeing none, I think a roll call vote is in order.
That's
This
correct.
one. I need a roll call vote, Ms. Buckley.
Ms. Funderburk.
Yes.
Mr. Minkiewicz.
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Ms. Buckley votes yes. Mr. Kuderich.
Yes. Vote is 5-0. Motion passed for the resolution for the non-homestead millage.
Okay, next we have another ballot proposal for the November election, and that's a sinking fund. We're proposing that we start a sinking fund. A sinking fund is a way for the district to generate revenue that can be used for very specific purposes, and those purposes would include construction and maintenance of our buildings and our physical facilities, things from parking lots, sidewalks, safety systems, roofs on the buildings, if we needed new windows in our buildings, those types of things all fall under sinking fund. Again, the sinking fund is not something that can be used for staff salaries or to add staff, very limited purposes. The advantage of a sinking fund is that normally if a school were to pass a bond to take care of some of those issues, which you could do, we sell a bond, we have an agent that sells the bond, but the district would have to pay a lot of money in interest in order to do that. And A bond gives you a lot of money right up front. Sinking fund gives us a little money each year, and basically it's a lot of money. It's almost $1 million a year for the next 11 years is what we'd anticipate. Because of our debt retirement schedule, we are able to establish this sinking fund at the rate of 0.75 mils at no additional cost to our Romulus residents.
Okay, I need a motion.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for the sinking fund millage at 0.75 mils per thousand.
Support.
Got a motion by Mr. Mankiewicz, supported by Ms. Buckley. Is there any questions?
I didn't catch if Carl brought this up, but the language is kind of misleading when it says, wasn't there something about building of schools? And it's not that we're thinking of doing any building. It was strictly
The
for
language
repair.
actually allows you to acquire property also. And
No, they're
because we're not in the business of acquiring property for the foreseeable future, that will not be a part of the ballot language. We can remove language from that, so we took that up. But the law actually allows you to establish a sinking fund to purchase a plot of land that someday maybe you want to build a school on. That's not our reality for the foreseeable future. So we're looking strictly for help in terms of keeping our facilities. We know that the people in Romulus have enjoyed outstanding physical facilities, and we want to be able to maintain them at the level that everyone's accustomed to. And with the revenue stream from the state not even meeting the rate of inflation over the last 5 years, and next year doesn't look any better. It looks like we'll be getting about a 0.8% increase in our state funding next year, with the inflation rate hovering between 2.5% and 3%. Money is very tight, so we want to make sure that we have the money through the sinking fund to take care of all the essential big dollar maintenance items like new roofs, like parking lots, sidewalks, those types of things that cost in the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Thank you.
Mr. President,
Yes, Ms. Buckley.
I just want to make sure that our audience understands that this will be at no additional cost to the homeowners of Romulus. That's very important.
Very important. We're very fortunate that we're able to do it this way. Most districts that pass a sinking fund, the residents have to pay an additional assessment, but this will not be the case. Because of our debt retirement schedule, we're able to move that around in a way that the homeowners, even though the sinking fund will be at 7.75 mils, there will it'll be tax neutral.
Is there any other questions? I need a roll call vote, please.
Ms. Funderburk?
Yes.
Mr. Mankiewicz?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Buckley votes yes.
Mr.
Ms.
Clerk,
Cooter?
yes. All right. Vote is 5-0. Motion passed.
Let me pass this.
Next item is items of interest from the superintendent.
Okay, we have a brief report from our new Human Resources Director, Mr. Baker. And he's going to tell us a little bit about, he's been busy with staffing and managing our layoff recall process during the summer and monitoring our student enrollment numbers, and we decided that it was time for him to give the board a little update on where we are tonight.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to give an update first on postings that we have. We currently have 2 postings that have been placed locally and throughout the state on our normal postings that we use. Both a full-time Spanish has been posted as well as a speech pathologist. We are hoping to attract candidates to those positions, and then through our normal avenues, we will see where that takes us as far as those hirings. Secondly, and probably more important as to what happens in the next 3 weeks, is I prepared a 3-year comparison of teacher to student ratios, starting back in 06, 07, as you can see. Back at that time, or after, now this is after fourth Wednesday count. We are not at that point yet, but those are the numbers that we were able to use as close to where we are right now. We're at a total student count of 4252 with 231 certified staff members. As you can see, at that time, our student-to-teacher ratio was 18.4 throughout the district. As you continue down, 07, 08, we had within 11 students that same count, 10 less certified staff, which gave you a ratio of 19.2 student-to-teacher. Now we come to 08, 09. Those numbers that we have right now are the best numbers, an estimate of what we have as of this month on the 6th, but there's some variables that are still out there. We're showing approximately 3,763 students. We have a total of 210 certified staff, including those that have been recalled up to this date. That student-to-teacher ratio right now is about a 17.9. The important variables to remember as we are waiting on students, hopefully, is that we have a traditional late kindergarten enrollment. We have added a 2-week additional window for school of choice enrollment. We're hoping for additional enrollment at community high school. Not shared in those numbers yet, but will be on the fourth Wednesday count of this year, are the adult alternative student program that we have, and then the shared time students. So I wanted to bring you up to date as to where we were, what it's looking like. I think we're all hoping, obviously, that those 5 unknown variables add up to us recapturing a number of those students.
Does anybody have any questions? I got one for you there,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Baker. Historically, what was our alternative, our adult education and our shared time students counts roughly from the last couple of years? Do you know by
I
any chance?
believe if on the shared time students, we are at approximately 30 to 35, if I'm not mistaken. And then the adult alternative program, Robin, was that up at about 60? We had talked about that. Was that between the 50 and 60?
In the fall.
In the fall, correct, on fourth Wednesday. Yep, I believe that's what I had found.
All right, thank you. Does anybody else have any questions?
The window for
School of choice?
school of choice just slipped my mind. That is starting now, and how long does it go? 2 weeks?
Two full school weeks, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
I had a question.
Yes.
Usually at this time of the year, is this number kind of normally where we're at? I mean, I'm trying to get a feel for if we're gonna,
It's-
you know, if we've been here
It's
before.
a little light. This is probably about 150 to 200 lower than where we normally are. Again, we know that we historically receive a lot of kindergarten enrollments in August, and we hope that that trend continues. We would like it better if they were enrolled in May or June, but we hope that, we anticipate receiving some kindergarten enrollments. We had some today, and I think we'll continue to get those streaming in. And the other thing is the community high enrolls their students late, and because we don't have numbers from them yet, they're not included, and they're usually good for a couple hundred students.
Okay, thank you. Well, we had some people move in behind us, so I know there's 2 there.
Good.
So add
Good.
2 to that. Right. Yeah, 3765.
Perfect.
There's no better place to learn than Romulus Community Schools.
And the great thing is, they're not Buckley's.
Got more coming.
Got more coming, right, Ms. Buck?
Any other questions for Mr. Biggs?
As far as staff is concerned, we have the 2 positions out there because we have no one here certified to handle those, correct?
Correct. We still have a few scenarios that are out there as far as our normal routes of recall and working with the union on positions. And you're correct in the speech pathologist. We have no one out there right now that is capable of taking on that endorsement.
Okay, thank you.
Some other items of note that I wanted to bring your attention to. This past week was, I think Barth was in the headlights for quite a few things. One was a first grade teacher at Barth, Julie Flinkman. I sent you a copy of the article. It's the last thing in your packet. Julie was interviewed as part of an article on philanthropy and service learning by Family Circle magazine in the September issue of Family Circle magazine, which is on the stands right now. There's an article, and Julie was featured in there, among other people. A very nice recognition for Julie and for Barth. Also, Barth Elementary applied for a fitness grant through this it's Project Fit America, and basically what they're building is a fitness trail. The way the grant works is they were awarded. They're one of, my understanding is only 6 schools in the country receive this grant each year. It's very select, and Barth was awarded the grant. Anyway, they received thousands of dollars worth of equipment for this fitness trail, which they are in the process of assembling and setting up in the back near the playground at Barth. There's a specified site plan they follow. Anyway, the grant is for the equipment. The district has to provide some matching funds for the installation. The really terrific thing about the folks at Barth is that we have some eminently qualified parent volunteers who have worked. They were out there last week working, assembling things. I visited for a little bit, and they're assembling the equipment, and they have their land laid out, and they've got a game plan. And I'm confident that within the next couple of weeks, all that equipment will be cemented in properly and leveled and plumbed, and we'll have a wonderful fitness trail at Barth that is open to everybody.
Now, will that trail go back into the woods at all?
No.
Okay, it stays in front of the woods.
Yeah, just on the grass, off the side of the track.
Mhm.
So it'll be a nice addition for us. Also, you have an acknowledgement from Norbert Glover regarding the death in the family, and you have a copy of the 08-09 district calendar. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Okay. All right, the next item that we have is communications and expressions from the public. Haven't been given any, so we will move on to questions and concerns from board members. Is there any board members that have any questions? Ms. Buckley?
When is our next study session? Have we scheduled it yet?
I believe we have one scheduled for the 25th.
Is it the 25th?
Yes. I'll confirm that and let you know in my weekly update.
I have a question for you, Mr. White. You sent us your weekly update. Could you tell us what day the Welcome Back Breakfast is? You didn't have the day of the month on
Oh,
there.
I'm sorry. It's Tuesday, August 26th. And the breakfast will be at 7:30, and the welcome back meeting starts at 8 at the high school.
And that'll be down in the auditorium, right?
The meeting will be in the auditorium, and the breakfast will be in the media center.
Is there anybody else?
I do have a question.
Yes, Ms.
Superintendent Weiss, were you able to get the dates for these other, lose my train of thought, the committees, like the technology committee, and when they actually met? I know that last time we spoke about it, you were gonna get that information.
Yes, I haven't been in, I've sent out some emails to the teachers, but
Okay.
I haven't heard back. It's summer, but
Okay.
as soon as I get those, I'm gonna write myself another note here.
The technology usually meets the second Monday of each
Yeah.
month.
Okay.
At 4 o'clock, they usually meet in the media center at the high school.
It's not a question, it was just, when I read through the administrators, kind of seminar that they went through, we may need to sit down and have you explain a few things, because, you know, you may have briefly mentioned something because you're aware of it, and we weren't. As far as, it sounds like it was a good seminar, and you had a lot of things going, but I just wasn't clear on what some of those were to be.
I'd be happy to. Happy to explain it. It was very worthwhile 3 days. They're a good group. We're learning and use some very good research to kind of focus our efforts.
Hey, is that it? Next item of business is adjournment.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
A motion by Ms. Roscoe, can I get support? Supported by Mr. Minkiewicz. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.